Hey there everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, before I begin, I need to make something very clear to all you guys watching. In a few weeks, I'm going to be taking a leave of absence from my blog show for a while, because, well, a couple of years ago, on January 9th, 2014, just when my second season just got started, I had to go through a surgery on my left leg because a giant cell tumor somehow got inside me several months prior. Unfortunately, the doctor didn't get every last bit of it out, and now it seems that the tumor is coming back. So, on April 13th, I need to go in for another surgery. Anyway, I decided to blog 3 more movies before then, and to make it special, all 3 of these films have been requested to me for some time, and I think right now might be the perfect opportunity to do them. Now, today's blog has been requested by a few of my friends who happen to be clients at the job hunting crew known as Vocational Visions, and they've asked me to take a look at an animated film from the 1990s, which happens to be an environmental movie. And some folks think it influenced James Cameron's Avatar. Released on April 10th, 1992, the movie is Ferngully, The Last Rainforest. Now, let's get started. Ferngully is a rainforest in Australia that is home to a race of fairies who have never seen humankind, and they believe that they only exist in stories. That is, until the arrival of Baddie Coda, a wacky fruit bat who tells the fairies that he has seen the humans. Curious when she sees smoke from Mount Warning, a fairy named Krista travels beyond Ferngully and discovers a group of humans is destroying the rainforest. Krista discovers a human named Zack and accidentally shrinks him. After discovering the beauty of Ferngully, Zack and Krista learn that the fairies and Ferngully itself are in mortal danger. The humans have freed Hexus, an evil oil-like creature who years ago was imprisoned in a tree when he tried to unleash chaos in Ferngully. Hexus has taken over the Leveler, a logging machine, and he begins his evil scheme to destroy Ferngully. Only Zack, Krista, Baddie, Pips, and the Beetle Boys can defeat Hexus and save Ferngully from destruction. So, what do I think of this movie? Well, I actually thought it was pretty good, even though I regret not watching it too much when I was little. But in order to explain more info, let's move on to Mustang notes. Producer Wayne Young said his passion for the environment was his motivation for making the movie, saying, "The film was blatantly environmental, although we have gone to a lot of trouble to avoid preaching. We also wanted to be viewed as entertainment." The inspiration for Ferngully came from stories written by his former wife, Diana Young. Diana first wrote the story of Ferngully 15 years prior to the film's release. Wayne said the couple planned a film adaptation for 5 years and then spent 7 years of dreaming and hustling, followed by another 3 years of production. Wayne stated their dream was not possible until the success of the 1989 film The Little Mermaid, which brought popularity back to animation. Hand-drawn scenes in the film were complemented by computer animation, which was used to create elements such as flocks of birds that could have taken much longer to animate traditionally. Also, 40,000 frames of computer animation were used in the movie, and that the use of such animation halved the production time. Most of the film's $24 million budget was spent on the animation and the soundtrack. Now, what are my thoughts on the animation, though? Well, in my eyes, the animation looks pretty good. In fact, some parts of the rainforest looks like as if they were painted. The magic looks absolutely stunning, and the scenes that involve the trees getting cut down by the leveler and the ending climax looks really suspenseful. Now let's move on to the songs. Now, most of the songs in this movie are sung by different artists, and in my opinion, they are just fantastic to listen to. We have the opening song, Life is a Magic Thing, sung by Johnny Clegg. Raining Like Magic, sung by Rafi, which in my eyes is a really relaxing song and nice to listen to on a rainy day. Land of a Thousand Dances, sung by Guy on Zach's stereo. I find that song to be a pretty hardcore dance number, and it makes me want to tap my feet. There's also the romantic song, A Dream Worth Keeping, sung by Sheena Easton, and Some Other World, sung during the end credits by Elton John. But in my opinion, the weirdest song in this movie is If I'm Gonna Eat Somebody, sung by a lizard named Goanna, voiced by rap singer Tone Loc, whom I remember from the extinct Food Rock show at Epcot. Now, I'm not saying this song is bad, it's just it comes right out of nowhere, and after the song ends, nobody mentions Goanna again, which means this song is...
A big alligator moment.
It's about time I used that joke. Now, let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Our main character, Krista, is voiced by Samantha Mathis. Known for being in films like Little Women, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and this summer, she'll be voicing in Illumination's Secret Life of Pets movie. Now, Krista is different compared to most fairies I've seen in an animated film. She is learning to keep the forest alive by growing plants and trees, but she's also curious about humans and life beyond the rainforest. Next is Zach, voiced by Jonathan Ward. Zach is a city kid who's helping lumberjacks cut down some trees for his summer job. His job is to use spray paint to mark trees for the leveler to cut. But after Krista shrinks him, he starts to become astounded by the forest and falls in love with Krista. He even later starts to feel pain in the trees. Next up is my favorite character, Batty Coda, voiced by the late, great Robin Williams, who during that same year played the genie in Disney's Aladdin. Why'd you have to die? Anyway, for those who don't know, this film marked Robin Williams' first animation role, not counting the Back to Neverland short from 1989, with the character Batty Coda being created specifically for him. Williams provided 14 hours worth of improvised lines for the part which was originally supposed to be an 8-minute role, but director Bill Croyer was so impressed with the voice work that he ended up tripling the screen time given to the character. Now, I love Batty. He's a caring bat, and he's really funny. After Krista fixes his sight, Batty tells the fairies that he came from a biology lab, and he explains what happened to him while he was being experimented on during his song Batty Rap. We also have Pips, voiced by Christian Slater. In my eyes, Pips is a cool character for a few reasons. He cares for Krista, and he likes hanging out with her. He has a gang of friends known as the Beetle Boys, and the third reason, even though he didn't like Zach at first, he does manage to help him out shut down the leveler. Next up is our villain, Hexus, the Spirit of Destruction, voiced by Tim Curry. He is such a badass when it comes to playing villains. I mean, he played Dr. Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Daniel Francis Hannigan, aka Rooster, in Annie 1982, Maestro Forte in Beauty and the Beast and Enchanted Christmas, Drake from The Pebble and the Penguin, and of course, Pennywise from Stephen King's It. Now, this guy is a real threat to all the fairies and animals of Ferngully. After the leveler releases him from his tree prison, he vows to use the machine for revenge. I also like how he starts out, all brown and slimy, but after eating enough poison, he gains a physical form, which is all black and smoky. But during the ending climax, when the leveler is shut down, he looks almost like a huge skeleton with a cape. Also, like every great villain, Hexus has a song. His is called Toxic Love, which is another song that I like. It's all sleek and sexy, and I like the visuals that happen, like Hexus using a chainsaw, blowing fire from a match, even going through gears. Now, the last character I need to mention is Maggie Loon, voiced by Grace Zabriskie, who was in Child's Play 2. Now, Maggie is a really important character, and a wise one as well. She serves as a mother figure to Krista, and teaches her in the magic of nature. Years prior, she was the one who imprisoned Hexus, and now that he is back, she has to pass down her powers to Krista and all the other fairies in Ferngully before she dies. And now it's time to move on to my final words. Overall, Ferngully: The Last Rainforest is a wonderful film to come from the 90s. The characters from Krista, Hexus, and Batty are unforgettable. The animation is breathtaking. The story is very simple with its environmental message, and the music and songs are just spectacular. I give this film a rating of 92% out of 100. Well, that's all for today, everyone. Be sure to tune in next time. Mustang Power!